me want to holler, go away. I need more peace and hope and love. Where do I find it in this crazy old world? I need strategies, strategies for living radio. Your dose of radio rehab. Strategies for living radio. Every time I listen, Lauren and David share strategies for living, and it makes me aware. I've got strategies for living, strategies for living radio. Your dose of radio rehab. Strategies for living radio. Your dose of radio rehab. Strategies for living radio.
You know we need them. Yeah, we need those strategies, don't we? Those strategies for living. So are you ready? Are you ready for your daily dose of radio rehab?
I was ready today, and then somebody walked in.
Yeah, you got
off the street.
Right off the street.
You never know.
You never know when Jay Murrell's going to show up. What's going on, Jay?
It's all good, and I've been missing you guys big time.
We've been missing you too. And, I want to talk today about an article that you sent here recently. And it's interesting. The article was written by a fellow by the name of Andy Murph, I think it was, from a publication called Illumination. And, some things only make sense as you age a little bit.
Yeah, I'm going with that.
Yeah, you going with that?
Is that some form of hindsight?
And Andy.
Well, you could call it hindsight. I might call it the crystallization of wisdom. Okay.
Ooh, I like
okay.
that.
How about that?
I like that.
I like that a lot. So, and Andy Murphy is his name. Andy Murphy is his name, and he's proposing 12 contradictions in life that only actually makes sense with age. And he says even Albert Einstein agreed with one of these. We'll talk about which one that is when we get there.
Sound like a plan.
Yeah. When we start out in life, a lot of us, think, well, and I raised my hand on this, well, there's just one way, right?
Right. Well, and we start off with black and white thinking, right? Like we have to grow into the ability to have some form of abstract thought, or also the idea of
very true,
both and.
Yeah.
Right.
And it's that's hard to walk with those contradictions, and yet life itself may be one big contradictions, at least according to to physics. Life is made up of 0.00001% matter,
right,
and then the rest of it is
space.
Energy and So
we're not really sure what's in there. Yeah.
So we're gonna delve into that today, and we appreciate you being here. We appreciate our sponsors making it all possible: the Robinson Film Center, Azalea Cleaners, Pintail Roofing, Learning RX, we train your brain, the Balanced Life Wellness Center, Fertitta's Delicatessen, home of The Godfather, Alligator Italian Sausage, and some pretty good muffies too, and SRT Sales Training. Back in a moment. Contradictions in life that make sense as you age.
Lauren, Jay, and David will find a way to help you out most every day. They help us think healthy and make us smile too. They bring out the strategies just for you. Strategies for living radio. Strategies for living radio. Your daily dose of radio rehab.
And welcome in to your daily dose of of Radio Rehab. We call it Strategies for Living, and glad you're here. All right, now look, we were just talking about we were talking about the contradictions in life and this thing. You know, they say what 0.00001% matter and 99.99999% energy.
Right.
But if you hit me over the head,
It hoits.
with the last time Jay hit me with a great big old stick.
Yeah, he'll do that.
Yeah, it hurt.
Yeah.
It hurt. So you can tell me all day long, Lauren. You can tell me all day long. Well, it's just energy, David.
Right.
You know, but what's
just,
the deal?
And it's just sensation.
It's
Beyond
just energy.
That,
It's just
you're the one who labels it as pain.
Well, it's not going to make my headache
I
go
agree.
away, though.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
And so life is full of those kinds of contradictions, and we want to talk about some of those today. You know, we think there's one way. It turns out there may be more than one. There may be a number of ways, and there's some of these life contradictions that you can only learn with age, right? So one of the first ones we can throw out is growth happens slowly and then all at once.
Yeah.
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 The Chinese bamboo tree is an example of this. So the Chinese bamboo tree, you can barely see it for the first 5 years of its life. And because what's happening is it's building this extensive root system.
Yes.
And, of course, that's all underground. And then
Boom.
it explodes. Jonathan and Maggie, my son and daughter-in-law, when they lived here in Shreveport, had some bamboo growing in the backyard. And, man, you talk about, and I don't know, they bought that, when they bought the house that they used to live in, the bamboo was already there. But, man, it was way on up in the air. And that happens. That happens within 6 weeks. Now, how does that relate? Well, our professional and personal growth oftentimes follows a similar kind of trajectory, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I think there's often times where we feel in the midst of growth, we feel like nothing's happening or, nothing's really changed, right? And then one day, something may happen that used to trigger you and you respond differently. And I mean, that's that flip from, you've really been steadily working on that over time, but then all of a sudden you recognize, oh, whoa, look how far I've come, right?
Yeah.
I intuitively knew how to handle situations that previously baffled me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'll go with that.
It's another one is that it's very hard to get things done with force. Now, this does kind of contradict a lot of the things that we've been taught, doesn't it?
Yes.
That you gotta put effort into it. You gotta put, to get things done.
Hard work.
Exert force.
Push that square peg into that round hole.
There you go.
Yeah.
Sometimes the most argumentative people rarely persuade anybody to do anything meaningful. But persuasive people don't argue. What persuasive people do is they observe, they listen, they ask thoughtful questions. And by doing that, it's inspiring others
to think,
to live a life of curiosity.
Gee, what's
and
that a model for? What do we,
Yeah.
What is that similar to?
Yeah.
Counseling.
There you go. There you go. It's a matter of showing people how to be instead of telling them how to be.
Don't you should on people.
No.
And I would add acceptance to that, because in your quiet listening and validating and then offering different solutions,
Yeah.
there's an underlying tone of acceptance which allows for growth to happen,
Yeah.
right? Because we know what we resist persists,
Right.
and in fact often
We're
gets
told that
worse.
over and over and over, and yet when a task gets put in front of us, what do?
Yeah.
We gotta try to force it. We gotta try to work.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's something, I mean, I'll raise my hand. That's something that I've learned over time, because I can remember, during a lot of my school years, really just head, plunging, like torturing myself to get to the deadline, right?
Yeah.
And over the years, I've learned, wow, it's so much easier if I take care of me first and relax into it and just allow
it to happen.
Yeah.
One of my very favorite authors, and I got to interview him here on Strategies. He was a life strategist, just like you, Jay. Dr. David Hawkins wrote a wonderful book called Power versus Force.
Yeah.
And he wrote a lot of other books followed up after Power versus Force, because he developed just a very thought-provoking map of consciousness, and really, life all comes down to
Our level of
consciousness.
Yeah.
But one of the things that he does in that original book, where he's putting forth the map of consciousness, and he's talking about the level of consciousness that is most pervasive in all the world. It is a consciousness that tells us, oh, if it's to be, you got to force it. But true power, which only happens according to his theory, as we move up the levels of consciousness toward enlightenment, that's power.
Yeah.
That's true power.
True power is quiet, and it's within, and it's acceptance based.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Most definitely.
It's been my experience that if I'm faced with some difficulty or something that I have to work through and accomplish, it's the case that I often, instead of jumping in there, flailing and working it, and
Right.
It's amazing to me how sometimes, if I give it some time, thoughts come.
Yeah.
And sometimes the problem reconfigures itself. Does that make sense?
Oh,
Yes,
total.
absolutely.
And so I see different ways to approach it. And I actually have had occasion to do this recently. And sometimes things just show up.
It's amazing sometimes what shows up
Yeah, it just
when you get
shows up.
quiet.
Right.
Yeah.
And allow.
When
And
you,
allow.
Yeah.
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 When you stop the pushing and you stop the shoving and the forcing,
Because
and just
the first plan is it's going to be, oh my gosh, I've got to drop the atom bomb on this.
right.
And I'm going to have to do this, and boy, that's terminal. So I'm going to lose that.
Right.
And these people are going to have this difficulty with this. And so I think of, and this is just the way my brain works, I guess, I think of the things that I've got to do that are used with an axe.
Yeah. Yeah.
But if I don't act on that, unless I'm under some, terrible deadline,
Right.
which
Right.
I'm usually not,
Yep.
I'll be darned, sometimes it just has a way of working out so that it's not so drastic.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think this next one is somewhat related. Working longer hours doesn't get more done. Often, and I think you're touching on this already, Jay, that often it's the opposite.
Yep.
That it takes, and it takes years. This is where the aging comes in. Sometimes it takes years to master this. It's not the hours you put in your work that counts. It's the work you put in the hours.
Contemplation is a form of work.
Yeah.
It
How about
is.
that?
It-
Okay.
It truly is. And, and we still haven't gotten to the Albert Einstein agreement. We'll probably do that next segment. But I'll go ahead and quote something that Einstein said. He said, and I'm paraphrasing here, I won't get his quote exactly right, but he said some of his most profound ideas and theories came about and came to him while he was daydreaming.
Yeah.
Yeah. A point, just allowing and relaxing, not forcing, not at his
Opening.
blackboard.
What are the mechanics of that, though? Aren't there some mechanics to that?
Sure.
In our
Sure.
subconscious?
It's the flow state.
And how it's like a computer operating system that's always working that we maybe are unaware of.
Absolutely.
But it's working.
But it is working.
Yeah.
And our ego mind, what I call the ego, EMOS, the ego mind operating system, some call it the pea brain.
Yeah, but it's out front, right?
It's out front, and it's the
Above
part
the water line.
It's the part that's convinced
Yeah,
I got to
running,
go,
Right,
do,
right.
do. And yet, sometimes we just need to be, because we're human beings, and it's a given. What you're pointing out is exactly true. It's a given that there's a part of our mind that takes care of so much that we don't have to worry about.
Exactly.
We don't have to worry about blinking our eyes. We don't have to worry about beating our heart, breathing our lungs. That's taken care of. That part of us is on board. And if we just relax and know, okay, that part is handling a lot of stuff, let me just kind of relax and be for a little while. Wonder what'll come. We're talking about things that sometimes it takes a little age. Contradictions in life that only make sense with age. Talking about it today on Strategies for Living. We'll be back.
Strategies for living radio.
And welcome back into Strategies for Living Radio. Lauren McMillian, Jay Murrell, David McMillan, talking today, considering some contradictions in life. There's a lot of them, as it turns out, that only make sense with age, right?
Yeah.
And so
Something that I've learned over the years, and it goes along with this, is the idea that paradox precludes truth.
all right, unpack that a bit.
I need you to unpack that.
Unpack that a bit for...
It went,
Yeah. Unpack that for the old guys in the room.
Well, so paradox is another way of saying contradiction, right?
Okay,
where,
yeah.
Where something at
Not
first...
two docs in the room. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. Paradox.
Or
Yeah.
dachshunds, whatever.
Yeah.
So anytime we come across what appears to be a paradox or a contradiction, it often precludes truth, which means that it's an opportunity to see life as it truly is in its whole form.
In the wholeness, yeah.
Yeah, rather than...
Our little bitty piece that we generally...
challenges convention.
Yeah,
Yeah.
It offers an opportunity
Okay,
to...
I'll go with that.
Yeah,
I understand
to open our worlds.
To see the whole.
Yeah.
Yeah, to see the
Because
fullness.
often we get stuck in the world of duality. It's got to be either or,
Black and white, hot or cold.
right? When in reality, I mean, it's two sides of the same coin often.
Yeah,
And
well,
that's why-
think about it. I mean, we talk about light and darkness.
Right.
There
But
is no such thing
darkness.
as darkness. You can't shine darkness into an area.
You can't measure
You
darkness.
can't
either.
measure darkness.
No.
There's only light
And
the
absence.
absence of light.
The same is true of heat.
Right.
Right. There's no cold. There's
no
no such thing as cold.
There's just heat and the absence of heat.
Right.
And so when you begin to, and again, this touches on the quantum physics stuff that so many times, at least for me, makes my mind go, But it's what we need to at least give ourselves a chance to consider
Yeah.
and think about. Another contradiction is the things that we fear the most are the things we need to face the most. Until you confront your fears.
Yeah.
And most people have a fear of some type of public speaking. And they say that's a fear for most people that's stronger than fear of dying, And what is that? That's just the fear of being seen.
Yeah, that's a
heard.
real problem for you
And
and me,
judgment.
David.
Yeah, it's always been a problem for you
Yeah.
and me, hasn't it?
Yeah.
But when you start to look within, you begin to see that life helps us unfold, and we can be teachers. Life itself is a teacher for us.
Yes.
If I'm open to it, and I in turn can be a teacher to others if I unfold to it, and if I. There was a teacher a couple of thousand years ago that talked about, you don't put your light up and then put a bushel basket over it.
Mm-hmm.
You let it shine.
Right.
And I think this is basically what he's talking about. The things we fear the most are the things we need to face the most.
Yeah, I think it was Jung. I think it's a Jung quote, that says, "Where your fear is, there is your next task."
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Isn't there something in treating phobias that the way to overcome a phobia is to
Exposure,
exposure?
Yeah.
gradual exposure
Yeah.
therapy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you do it systematically, and you do it little by little.
Right, you
safely as possible.
Right.
Yeah.
The way I like to talk about it sometimes, you often play with C in creative and reactive.
Right.
The one that I like to play with is in scared, right? Whatever scares you, if you see it correctly, if you move the C in scared,
Yeah.
it can become sacred.
Ooh, I like that.
So if you move the C in the word scared over to the right, it becomes sacred.
I like that.
So if you can really see it, whatever scares you, it's actually the most sacred thing that life has to offer you in that moment.
Yeah.
It's an opportunity for your growth and becoming.
We talked about Albert Einstein earlier. Einstein said this: the more I learn, the more I realize how much I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
Albert Einstein said that. And so that brings about one of these contradictions, doesn't it? Oftentimes the wisest response to any question that might be asked is,
I don't know.
Amen. And the older you get, the more wisdom that comes on with age. You understand how little of the world any of us truly understand. Life is so much mystery and complexity and magic that it's hard ever to say that I absolutely know what's going on. And accepting that I'll never know helps to cultivate curiosity. And I've said often on this program, if I live to be 120, I keep going up on that age for a reason.
Yeah, there's a reason.
If I want to be a curious student right to the end, because I think that position in life is the position that, keeps us open to continuing to learn things that we don't know. We'll never learn it all.
Right.
Yeah. The next one is turning down opportunities is the best way to create them.
Okay, let's flesh that.
Talk about paradox, huh? It's all about discernment.
Mm-hmm.
You sometimes the best thing you can do. I was in radio, and once upon a time, I got fired in radio. I mean, who doesn't?
Just once?
Just once.
Just
What?
But it was the best thing that ever happened, because
Got you beat.
I don't think I would be sitting here. I don't think I would have ended up going to graduate school.
Sure.
And I don't think I would have ended up doing that, and then that led to this. So look at the circularity of all of that. But I don't think any of that. I'm not sure that any of that would have happened had I not gotten fired.
I got some similar experiences.
Yeah. And, all worked out. I mean, I got fired from the job and hired back a few days later.
Yeah.
But that was, that, like Paul Harvey said, one day maybe we'll talk about the rest of the story.
It also reminds me of the story of the son of the founder of Baskin Robbins. Was it John Robbins?
Yeah, yeah.
Because he was set to inherit the entire Baskin Robbins.
He was
corporation.
assured of being a multimillionaire.
And so to most people, that's a huge opportunity.
Sure.
But he turned it down.
Yeah, because he wasn't.
And he wasn't on board with what it was doing and the health reasons behind it, and instead he started his own healthy living foundation.
Yeah.
You know, and
Steve Jobs said, people think focus means saying yes to the thing that you've got to focus on, but that's not what it means at all. It means say no to 100 other good ideas that there are. You have to pick carefully.
Yep. There are a lot of ways to make money. Pick one. Pick one that your heart's in, that you are. Yeah.
And so and the only way you can do that is discernment. So it's discernment.
Knowing
that
yourself.
Is really
Yes.
the key to yourself. Yes.
that's key. That's key, Jay. I think so many of us
Absolutely.
don't. I mean, that's where you have to begin. You have to know who you are in order to know what you want and where you want to go in life.
Yeah.
And what lights your fire.
Yeah. Some of the best ideas come from boredom.
Mm-hmm.
So, again, this is one that it does take a little aging to accept, because what's one of the things that, when you observe, and I'm not on a high horse here, I'm not criticizing, but we don't do well in our society today with boredom.
Mm-mm.
I'll tell you a story.
Okay.
And he's told this story, so I'm going to use his name and tell you the story.
Mm-hmm.
Many, many years ago, probably back in the late 70s, early 80s,
Yep.
me and some other guys from here were working on a job over in Mississippi, and there was a big ice storm.
Yep.
And I remember I gave my friend Johnson Ramsey a ride home from Mississippi, and
Yeah.
he slipped on his deck
Yeah.
and really messed his back off.
Hmm.
And he was laid up for several weeks. And while he's being bored, laid up, he came up with the idea of developing a new golf course south of town, starting with some acreage his family owned. And that place is called Southern Trace Golf and Country Club.
Yeah. Sometimes boredom, stuff, inspiration just strikes out of being bored. How about if we were to schedule board time into your week?
Do I have to slip and mess my back up?
Yeah, no, you don't have to
no,
do
no,
that. No. I don't think your friend Johnson would.
He probably wouldn't want to duplicate that.
He probably wouldn't want to recommend that
that's,
to you.
That's why you would schedule it, so that the universe doesn't force it upon you,
Yeah,
right?
exactly. Okay, that's right.
Exactly.
That's right.
But I mean, think about how wonderful it is in terms of the world we live in today. And for a lot of us, I mean, it's a luxury that we have these days that comes along with all the things, the internet and AI and all the things that we have
constant
access.
entertainment at our fingertips.
But we can also, we can also relax, and we can
Turn
also
off all the noise.
Absolutely. And so why not be bored?
Yeah, good things can come.
This one
I like to do that.
This next one kind of relates to one of the earlier ones, but it is nonetheless, it's important to consider. Failing's the best way to succeed. Michael Jordan said, "I've missed more than 9,000 shots in my career. I've lost almost 300 games. 26 times I've been trusted to take the game-winning shot, and I've missed. I've failed over and over and over again in my life, and that is why I succeed."
Mm-hmm.
All successful people know that to succeed, they gotta be willing to fail a bunch of times.
Yeah.
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 I mean, and failure is part of success.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a stepping stone.
Yeah. I mean, whoever now hits the most home runs probably is also going to have the most strikeouts. Yeah. Talking about contradictions, that sometimes we have to put a little aging in to really appreciate and understand. Talking about that today here on Strategies for Living with Lauren and with Jay, and we'll be back.
We all have have problems every day. We all need help along the way. We need strategies, strategies, strategies for living radio.
You want them? Jay's got them.
You bet.
We call them strategies for living.
Step right up.
We all need them, don't we? Welcome back into Strategies for a Living. Lauren McMillian, Jay Murrell, David McMillan, talking today about those contradictions in life that sometimes, we need to age a bit before we understand the reality of the situation. Here's one that's a challenge for you and I, Jay. Maybe not so much for Lauren, but for you and I, we had to learn this, or maybe we're still learning it, and that is talking less often means there's more to say.
Yeah, I that's hard for me because, yeah.
So
totally agree.
The opposite of talking, well, is it listening? I guess. And what does listening do? Listening allows us to take in the information, craft our thinking in an ocean of curiosity and intrigue, and then respond with interesting new insights. You brought us, we did a show not too long ago on Epictetus.
Yes.
And some ideas from Epictetus. And he said, we have 2 ears and 1 mouth, so we can listen twice as much as we speak.
Yeah,
Wise words.
Totally. And learning, you can actually, it's been my experience, you can actually teach yourself to be an active listener.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
And we talked about this on this program before, and people can tell, I believe, when you're really listening to them and you're present with them.
Absolutely. Yes.
And certainly in counseling, that's kind of a requirement.
Yeah.
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 And so I will say this before I decided to pursue this profession. I wasn't as good as I am now.
Yeah.
Because if you practice it, and
you get better.
and you look at, oh, well, this is a really good idea, and there's some evidence-based studies that show that. Yeah. So, Absolutely. It's a great thing to learn how to do.
Yeah.
Going slow is often the quickest way.
Slow and steady.
Yeah.
The old turtle and the hare, right?
Navy SEALs say slow is smooth, smooth is fast. So when you're rushing, a lot of times you miss the opportunity and the important things, or you don't do things properly. So you miss things and you're not present. And so it takes a while to realize that slowing down is often the fastest route. And even if it is paradoxical,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I mean, we've talked a lot about this recently, even with our more recent show, reframing ASAP, right?
Yeah.
The idea that being as slow as possible is actually a more present, intentional,
or as soulful as possible, or as soft as possible.
How many times, I'll only speak for myself, how many times have I been in a rush to accomplish something, missed a step, and it ends up costing me multiple of time more to go back and correct what I missed than if I just slowed down a little bit and read the instructions better.
Absolutely.
Done it intentionally the first time.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Guilty.
I do a little cognitive thing every morning, kind of little brain things, and some of it's English, and some of it's math, and some of it's memory. And I guess Denisa Walker, got the best of me. So I do this every morning, just at some point early, around the time I have my first cup of coffee. But when I first started doing it, my tendency was to rush to get it done. But, I'm way more accurate if I just pace it, take my time, and relax a bit.
Right.
Yeah. Which, this one, is related. The next one is paradoxical. The best way to make money is to spend money.
Prudently.
Yeah. What do you want to accumulate? Well, you may want to make sure you give that. You give that away.
Yeah, I think this is kind of related to the idea of attraction and the beliefs you're putting out in the world, right? So if you're of the mindset that money is meant to be in circulation, right?
Yeah.
And that you trust fully that what I give, so I shall
It
receive,
comes back.
it will return to
Right.
me.
Right.
That's a practice that will endow that idea.
Yeah. And then we can't get through this without considering the end. And so accepting death is the best way to live. I end every one of these programs and have for years. And it's a reminder for me. People sometimes ask me about it. And I generally say the same thing. I'm really talking to myself. I'm really reminding myself. I say, if today were the last day of your life, you only had one more phone call to make, who would you call? What would you say? And why are you waiting?
Right.
And that's to remind myself that I'm not guaranteed. I mean, I might turn the microphone off on the program, and that's it.
Right.
Yeah. And I would be fine with that, because if I've finished the show and I've given that last message, then whoever's listening gets that message.
No, it's really it's a very thoughtful close.
Yeah, and I don't know. I've lost track of how many years I've been doing it. A long time, but the bottom line is accepting death is the way to live. Our mortality and us remembering that we are mortal beings physically,
right?
Is a reminder that no one's going to get out of this world alive. And so the paradox of death reminds you to live and to live now. Why not live before it's too late?
Till you can't.
Yeah. I mean, so many people say, "Oh, I'll get to that."
Right.
Someday I'll retire and I'll get to that. Someday I'll have this much money in the bank and I'll get to that. And, what are we missing out on? Life. Yeah.
Living for the now.
Pick something that your priorities vary, but for me, it's enjoying the people that I love and being there for them.
Yeah.
I don't think you can do anything more meaningful or profound than that.
Thank you for bringing this this little article to us. If you want the article, it's written by Andy Murphy, and it's in a publication. It was published in a publication called Illumination. So I want to give credit where we give credit to you for finding it and bringing it to us.
I just copied it and sent it to you, because I know what you like.
Yes, you do.
You did good.
Yes, you do. So the paradoxes of life. Sometimes we've got to live a little bit to be able to really appreciate some of these paradoxes that life holds. We've been talking about them today here on Strategies for Living. We'll be right back. And welcome back. Welcome back into Strategies for Living. Lauren Leon McMillian, David McMillian, Jay Murrell, as we have considered some paradoxes of life today that sometimes you need a little aging on you. But, that's the deal. If your mind is open,
Right.
You can age. Age is not just a matter of the clock passing or years passing. It's also a matter of how open your mind is.
Right.
Yep.
And how willing you are to assimilate those into truths.
There you go. So what y'all's takeaway from our time today?
Well, I agree with Lauren, and I'll just say in my case, it required continuing to wake up to be more teachable. I think I'm in my 7th decade, and
A young man.
a young man anyway, but in this stage of life, one of the types of cognition we keep is, the development of, if we're open to it, some what they call wisdom.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah.
And thank you for being willing to pass some of your wisdom and share with all of
Yes.
us.
Oh,
Yeah.
please, thank you.
Thank
Yeah.
you.
Such as it is.
I wanted to end my wrap up with this because I wanted to find this quote. It's F. Scott Fitzgerald. The test of a first-rate intelligence is the ability to hold two opposed ideas in mind at the same time and still retain the ability to function.
Ooh, I love it. I think that very well summarizes
I thought
what
it would.
we've
I
talked
wanted
about
Good
to-
stuff.
today.
I wanted
It
to
is.
find the full thing.
Folks, thank you for tuning in. We appreciate you being with us, and we appreciate our sponsors making it possible. The Robinson Film Center, Azalea Cleaners, Pintail Roofing,
Roof, roof.
Learning RX, We Train Your Brain, the Balanced Life Wellness Center, Fertitta's Delicatessen, home of The Godfather, Alligator Italian Sausage, and some pretty good muffies too, and SRT Sales Training. If today were the last day of your life, you only had one more phone call to make, who would you call? What would you say? And why are you waiting? Make the call. For Jay Murrell, for Lauren McMillian, I'm David McMillan. See you next time right here on Strategies for Living.